It's time for a review of what's making the headlines in the papers this morning. With us again, Arise News analyst Dr. Constance Ikoku. Welcome back.
Thank you, Nkechi. Good morning again. Good morning, India again.
Yeah, good morning.
To look at the papers today with us, we have Igor Akerela. He is a member of the Nigerian Guild of Editors. Thanks for joining us, Igor.
Yeah, good morning, Doc.
Right.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, hello there and welcome to the program. We will begin with this day newspaper. A couple of stories there. CBN reintroduces controversial cybersecurity levy. And then party constitution, not governor removed Abure, LP leadership, says Peter Obi. And then to the third story, CDS to Obaseki. We have Tinubu's mandate to ensure free, fair poll in Edo State. So to the Labour Party story, a clarification being made here by the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 election, Mr. Peter Obi. He says that the party led by Obi, or Abia State Governor, is not the one that removed Abure from the leadership or from the chairmanship of the party. He says his tenure has elapsed. You know, we remember that Abure went to court to challenge the move made by the party when they set up a caretaker committee to conduct new elections. It looks like there's going to be a bit of a problem here. What do you think? His tenure has expired, they say, and Abure insists that he should continue in office. Your thoughts, Igor?
I think this is a bit typical of the average Nigerian politician. They do not usually want to leave office. For Abure, he has been around for a while, and his tenure, towards the end of his tenure, it was marked by a whole lot of crises, particularly the one that came from Lamidi Apapa, who, of course, a lot of people, there was a lot of rumor that he was sponsored by some external forces to destabilize the Labour Party. So Abure's tenure largely was marked by a whole lot of controversy. But as it stands, the leadership, the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, that is Peter Obi, represented by Dati Baba Ahmed, his vice presidential running mate in the last election, clarified that his tenure has expired in line with the LP constitution. Now he has gone to court, so we await what the court will say. But essentially, if his tenure has expired, what is the point in trying to stay in office? But we'll leave that to the court to decide.
Leave it for the court to decide. Nkechi, I mean, it looks like the Labour Party obedient movement have decided to step in and save the party. It remains to be seen whether they will succeed. Maybe it's going to be a roller coaster.
I mean, the Labour Party, yes, has been a party that has been in Nigeria from time. However, in the last election cycle, it seemed like Peter Obi was carrying the party. So it seemed like the obedience were following Peter Obi. However, he's in the Labour Party, and so they have to vote for that party. Now, Peter Obi, on the other hand, has said, look, this party is for the disenfranchised and unhappy Nigerians. He's reiterating the fact that the Labour Party still is a strong opposition party because of all this news coming out, and people are saying, look, can the Labour Party even hold it together to then come out in the next election cycle for this disenfranchised and unhappy Nigerians? I think that's the biggest test for the Labour Party in this their internal squabble. Right,
we'll see how that goes. Let's look at the Guardian newspaper. In the Guardian, Bello remains wanted, says EFCC. There's low patronage hit online stores, malls amid 200% spike in prices. And then the PDP crisis marking the backs embattled Damagu as governors. NWC plans sack. Donations for Borno flood victims hit 11 billion naira. That's a lot. You know, a lot of people really pity in that state and trying to see what they can do about it. There's also fuel scarcity. Tanker drivers cause traffic chaos in Oshodi-Apapa Expressway. When it comes to former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, who was declared wanted a couple of months ago by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, there are conflicting stories. Some said he has been arrested, he showed up in court. Others say he hasn't been arrested. The EFCC says it's not in their custody. Is Yahaya Bello above the law? The court has asked him to appear before it, Eagle.
This issue of the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, is becoming debilitating and very, very distracting, even in the first place. In April this year, that's just about 5 months ago, that was when all of this started, the debacle started. He was accused by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission of allegedly diverting 80.2 billion naira, if I get that figure correctly. And since then, he has been asked to come and to have his day in court. But it has been a game of hide and seek, catch me if you can, by the former governor. And the situation is not even helped by the current governor of Kogi State, Ododo, who again is accused of shielding his predecessor. So be that as it may, I think this is, as I said earlier, it is the ruling political class in Nigeria apparently think that they are a bit above the law and that they cannot play by the rules. What is the point in the aide to the former governor issuing a statement to say that he has appeared at the EFCC office and then he was just given a handshake and allowed to go home and that he was not even interrogated, only for the EFCC spokesperson to issue a statement yesterday denying all of that? I think it is just some spinners at work trying to spin stories around, the former governor of Kogi State. But I would, the papers have clearly reported what the issues are. It is a bit more work for journalists to do to really find out what happened. Did the former governor actually report at the FCC office and was he interrogated, or somebody somewhere was lying? But I want to go with the FCC this morning that the governor remains wanted and he has to offer himself for trial, present himself for trial. It's very important, so that we can preserve even the reins of democracy and the rule of law.
The whole thing seems like a joke, making a joke of the anti-corruption fight.
A drama
Yes.
playing out. The report has it that he got there, right, but he was in his car. He didn't get out and asked for the chairman, Lukerde. And the report has it that the chairman refused to give him audience.
Big man move, sitting in his car and demanding to
no,
be
it
met.
was not. He requested. The talk is that the chairman did not want to see him. So the chairman later left. But the point is that if he was there, according to that report, and the chairman knew he was there, didn't see him, and later in the night or so, EFCC goes to his house and guns were being shot, according to the report, you wonder what is happening. It's messy. If he was there and you were looking for him and there was a court case, I don't know why he didn't give him audience. I mean, that's what I am hard put to understand. That's what the chairman will have to explain if indeed that was what happened. And then why would you go down in the evening to shoot guns in his house to want to arrest him? Why you knew he came to your office? I don't. I
mean, quickly, I think. Just to note that Yahaya Bello, the former governor, is a wanted person. He cannot go to the EFCC. He's been wanted for months. He cannot allegedly go to the EFCC with convoy in the company of the current governor of Kogi State, who, I might add, has a lot of work to do in his state rather than following someone to the EFCC to request to see the chairman.
No, but if you're wanted and you submit yourself, I mean...
He did it. You don't submit yourself and be accompanied and backed by the governor.
It's not about if you're wanted, however you submit yourself. I'm wondering why not.
Right.
Why won't you? I'm just wondering.
Well, let's see whether he gets his day in court. He is not above the law or should not be above the law. Let's see a Punch newspaper this morning. In Punch, INEC deploys 5,000 beavers, 18,000 ad hoc workers. Also, we have there, Tinubu may merge MDAs, scrap humanitarian ministry, PDP NWC members, plot Damagun's removal. And World Bank to grant Nigeria 1.7 billion loan, according to reports. So let's settle on Tinubu may merge MDA, scrap humanitarian ministry. According to this story, the president is under pressure to sack underperforming ministers and merge and change his cabinet, in addition to streamlining ministries, agencies, and departments. These two story items have been in the news for a while, especially after the one-year appraisal of the performance of ministers. Now we're still hearing it. We need to see the action already. Igor.
Well, I wonder if the president will need to be under any pressure to review his the performances of those he appointed into office. It is taken for granted that the president himself is a Nigerian. He has seen what is happening across the country, the endemic poverty, the multidimensional poverty across board, the inability to deal with the fuel situation and guarantee almost a seamless access by Nigerians to buy fuel at reasonable prices. And beyond that, insecurity is still a very big issue, soaring prices, runaway inflation, the inability to create financial stability, whether at the macro or micro level, whether at the CBN or the Ministry of Finance. There are a whole lot of issues across board. So I don't think for the president who told Nigerians that he was prepared for this job, that it was the job of the presidency is a lifetime ambition for him, which presupposes that he has really been preparing for a long time. He does not need anybody to tell him that it is time to take a review at his cabinet. Now for the possibility of merging ministries, departments, and agencies of government, that is, I think, it's also long overdue. If you look at the Oronsaye report that prescribed, a solution to the bloated government ministries, departments, and agencies, and particularly with the objective of cutting costs of governance. The president has a responsibility to look at that. So it's also overdue. He has to do something very quickly so that, because most Nigerians are also complaining that he has created additional ministries. I think there are well over 42 now, beyond what he met on ground. And this is a president who said he was going to cut costs. So essentially, looking at the MDA, streamlining them, consolidating them, the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry has been embroiled in a lot of financial scandals in the past, right from the days of former President Muhammadu Buhari and up until now. Better Edu was there, and we saw what has happened. So the president really has to do something very quickly so that Nigerians can begin to look in his direction with some level of confidence.
All right, let's look at Daily Trust. Tackle illegal mining before it turns to insurgency, Zulum tells Emir. Zulum is the governor of Borno State, where they're going through a lot of flooding in the state, but also illegal mining is a problem in some parts of the north, in addition to the southwest. Then Zamfara boat mishap, 10 bodies recovered, 22 still missing. CBN now to charge cybercrime levy at 0.005% in new guidelines. This will be enforced under the Cybercrime Prohibition Prevention Act of 2015. It will be charged on all electronic transactions under new guidelines for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. I mean, this is typical. A policy is announced, there's outrage, everyone is against it. All of a sudden, everywhere goes quiet. After a while, it's reintroduced, and that's what we're seeing with this cybercrime levy, Eagle.
Yeah, you are correct. Earlier this year, there was effort by the government to introduce this cybercrime levy, and of course there was uproar. But I think the predominant issue here is that the government is always introducing all kinds of levies, all kinds of taxes, without a corresponding evidence on ground that these monies, these taxes that are called in by the government is used for the benefit of the people. For me, it is not even about whether the government wants to charge 0.0005% of cybercrime. If it is prescribed, I think that is prescribed by the Cybercrime Act. It is there in the law, and when public hearing was conducted by the National Assembly, on this particular law. I think that is the point at which Nigerians should have risen against it. But now it is a law, except there is a review. It has come to stay. I will focus more on the outcome of what these monies are used for, from stamp duties, increase in electricity tariff, petroleum prices, cybercrime, increase in the monies that the government intends to get from there, and all of that, all the monies that the government is getting, apart from oil money. So what is the government really doing? I just returned from the Niger Delta. I traveled around the states there. As you get into Edo State, in fact, Ogun State, even beginning from the southwest, the federal roads in Ogun State, that is the Lagos-Benin Expressway, is a mess, complete mess. And then you get into Edo State, leading to inward worry. It is a complete mess. People sleep there for 2 days. And here we have a government that is talking about a coastal highway that is going to go up trillions of naira and abandoning the internal roads. So the issue for most Nigerians really, what is this government doing with all of the money that it is getting from all the multiple taxes and levies that the government is imposing on the people? That's an issue for interrogation, and the papers have rightly reported it this morning. It should be an issue for most Nigerians to engage the government on. And I just hope that with the government already in its second year in office and going into 2027, these are issues that should dominate the election year in 2027.
Question, how is the money used? Let's look at Citizen South Africa, what the international top stories. Here we have Floyd's return to EFCC nixed by Malema. If you leave the party, you're not allowed to return, says the leader. Remember that about a month ago, the deputy president of the Economic Freedom Party, EFF, Floyd Shivambu, resigned his position, quit the party, and joined Jacob Zuma's MK party. Now there are talks he wants to return. The leader of the party, Julius Malema, said, he's willing to make an exception, but the leadership of the party says, this has to be rejected. According to the leadership, it's according to the constitution of the party. You cannot just return. Currently, cross-carpeting and re-cross-carpeting is not allowed according to the constitution.
Well, there are so many issues here. Shivambu Floyd is called the ideological brain of the party. EFF when he was there. Malema is called the screamer in charge. Because of the way he carries out.
Screamer in charge, someone has to lead. That's with some charisma.
That's what it's called. Okay, and the talk again is that during the formation of the GNU, Floyd says Malema went behind his back to ask Ramaphosa for vice presidency when he was the one negotiating that was in charge. That's his allegation, to become, I think, finance minister. So that was when the relationship thawed. And just like you said correctly, Malema is saying, I have no issues with Floyd. He could come back, but then the leadership constitution says he cannot. So that's what it is. And Floyd's movement affected both EFF and ANC, cut votes from them. I guess that's where the leadership is smarting from.
Right. Let's move on to the Sun. Let me bring it in here. So many stories in the UK, or almost all the papers have the same headline. After Israel pager blitz, death by walkie-talkie. This story is dominating all the headlines. Let's look at The Guardian, for instance. Fears of escalation as second wave of deadly explosions hits Lebanon. And then we have Daily Star, now the walkie-talkie blows up. And then The Times, new phase in conflict as walkie-talkie blasts kill 20. A couple of other headlines. The Daily Mirror, walkie-talkie bomb blaze. Well, there's fear of wider escalation. What are your thoughts, sir?
I think, first of all, the timing of this attack, devices allegedly were planted months and months and months ago, and Mossad allegedly waiting until Hezbollah has fully integrated this technology into their ranks. And now you also have defense minister from Israel saying, look, we've entered this new phase of war. You have troops that are already amassing in the northern border. And so we're just seeing this escalating little by little by little. No one has seen this sort of attack. This is the type of attacks we see on James Bond movies. And we even roll our eyes like, how can this even work? And it's happening. It's happened 2 days in a row. And you notice that, look, countries that were not really speaking up, or countries that were at the beginning saying, look, Israel has a right to defend themselves, and now seeing this escalate to Hezbollah, to the border of Lebanon, Houthis from Iran, and are now calling for a stop to this, especially when it comes to what's going on between Israel and the Palestine and the fight in Gaza, which is why we're seeing that UN General Assembly resolution. Right.
Let's look at Daily Mail. Revealed Sue Gray is paid more than the PM. I mean, the revelation has generated quite a bit of controversy in the United Kingdom. A reporter received a tip-off about it and dug into the story. At last, it was confirmed that the PM's chief of staff, Sue Gray, is paid more than him in a pay review recently. Okay, so people are nuts about it, and it's odd. Igor, your quick thoughts on this? Or okay, I think we're running out of time. You can close us out.
It was about Sue Gray. Well,
Sue Gray.
Yeah, Sue Gray. Well, an investigation is about to go on, but even what I'm more interested in is there's a story on the Cager that the PM, this is on another side of payment, you know, that the PM has received more gifts over time, more than other prime ministers. You know, that's what one of the papers, I think it's Mirror, is reporting.
So that's all we have for the paper review today.
Okay, that's it for today. Thank you so much, Dr. Constance Ikuku, and of course, Igor Akeraya over there. Thank you for being on the program this morning. That will be all. I am Ndi Amugo, thanking you for watching. The morning show is next.
Good morning, I'm Kechi Nana.